For the third assembly, I'm going to start with the screw. So again, I'm going to say new, inch assembly, OK. I'm going to find my screw. Open it. And I'll click to place it in the assembly. I'll look at it isometrically, and the first thing I want to do is float it. I'm also going to look at it shaded with edges. So I'm going to right click on it here and float it so it can move around. I want the screw to rotate. I want to create this to behave as it would in the real world so that when I rotate the screw, the jaws move in and out towards each other. To make this screw rotate, the first thing I need is an axis in the middle. And I'm going to mate the axis to two of the assembly planes. I can mate this face. So I'll select it, hold Control, select the right assembly plane. I'll make those coincident. But now I want to use the axis of the screw. So I'm going to expand my screw, and I've created an axis in the middle of it. I could also use a temporary axis, but using this axis I've created, I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to select my front plane, and I'm going to make those coincident. I'll fit the screen again, and then I'm going to select the top assembly plane, hold Control, select the axis, and I'll make those coincident. I'll minimize all these, and now the screw rotates, but it won't move around the assembly. This is the functionality I wanted. This subassembly will never be fully defined because the screw will always rotate, and these will move back and forth. To this assembly, I also need to add the woodruff key, the taper pin, the collar, and these two subassemblies. For now, I'm going to add these two subassemblies and get them properly and fully mated. Then I'll make another video where I add the collar and the pin. So to add the subassemblies, I'm going to open my Explorer here, find my subassemblies. So here's my left jaw. I'm going to drag and drop it in. I'm going to come back here and find my right jaw subassembly, and I'll drag and drop it in. Next, I'll mate the jaws as shown here. So I'm going to select this hole, or I could select this part as well because it's concentric width to this hole. So I'll select this. I'm going to hold Control, select the diameter on my shaft, release Control, and add the concentric mate. Now I want this jaw down here. So before I go any further, I'm going to expand my mates. I'm going to right click on this concentric and I'm going to flip it. So I now have this down on this end. I would like to stop this from flopping around. So what I'm going to do next is the side I have selected, I'm going to make it parallel to the front plane of the assembly. That will allow it to move back and forth but not flip and flop every which way. So next, I want to mate this jaw assembly. So again, I'll choose this, hold Control, select the diameter, add the concentric mate. Once again, I need to flip that mate. So I'm going to scroll down, right click on the mate, select flip mate. This one's flopping all over the place, so I'll select this side, hold Control, select this side, and again, I could make them coincident or parallel. I'm going to choose parallel. It went through the other, but it doesn't matter. So these both move back and forth and back and forth. Zoom in a bit. What I need to now do is when this is working and fully functional, when I turn the screw, these will move in and out together about the center of the two threads. So I need to create a plane in my part here. So if I expand my screw, I want to create that plane. To do that, I'm going to edit the screw in the assembly. I'm going to have to save it before I can continue. Because I'm editing my part, these parts go see-through, and I want to add a plane. So I'm going to reference geometry plane. Create your plane in the middle of this section. Then stop editing your part, and in the next video, I'll explain how to set up the remaining mates for these two jaws.